everybody shall have one speaking right, one voting right if elected ICC Bureau as an ICC Bureau member. The choice of an institution to represent the NHRI of a particular country in this ICC is left under the Article 39 of the relevant NHRI to determine. Thus, the existing thematic national human rights institutions in India, namely the NCW, the NCM, NCSM, NCST, NCPCR, and CIC and PWD, and the National Commission for Safai Karmacharis, all technically deserve to be invited by the NHRC to the ICC for membership, although the NHRC could be speaking and voting member. At least their presence should be there. If this opportunity had been extended by the National Human Rights Commission after the ICC statutes have come into force, the other NHRI in the country would have legitimately been able to benefit from and develop their human rights capacities to play the statutory functions expected of them, especially at a time when the present Human Rights Council, the treaty bodies, the special procedures and universal periodic review have multiplied their expectations from such NHRI across the globe. Friends, I am pained to state that in another 2 days it will be 1 year of the now known Delhi rape incident. Even then I was pained, and even today I am pained. Sadly, these incidents have multiplied several folds in the past 1 year. Perhaps it's more advocacy work, perhaps more girls are coming out, whatever be the reason. It is sad for people like me who had led the Women's Commission in this country to note that when the government decides to constitute a committee to propose changes to laws governing violence against women in this country, neither the NHRC nor the NCW nor any deemed members of the NHRC were considered by the government for this task that late Justice Verma so efficiently and meticulously performed. If we had a good national commission, there was no need at that time even to constitute a body of that kind. Why don't we do things which are perfect? Even the World Conference Against Racism that took place in Durban in the year 2001, Vimal was there, was not a venue where NHRC thought it fit to invite at least the chairperson of the National Commission of the Scheduled Caste ST to participate, leave alone going to Durban. I mean, it was there. We were talking about them and they were not invited. I was present there as a representative of the civil society. I had demitted office by that time, and where the issue of caste discrimination was loudly and clearly debated, and where the NHRC rightfully took a stand, the deemed members of the NHRC, in particular the chair of the SC Commission, was not even a part of the consultation of the NHRC organization. Last year, the ICC organized its 11th International Conference in Amman, Jordan. The human rights of women and girls, gender equality, the role of the National Human Rights Institution. The chairperson of the Women's Commission was not to be seen, and the entire delegation that went to this conference were men. It is pertinent to mention that for the past 10 years, the Commission does not have a single woman member as a full member of the NHRC, which already Maya has informed you. The above two just examples of many other opportunities where the deemed members could have played a role. Domestically, I am very happy to see that NHRC has been organizing a series of public meetings on atrocities against Dalits in different parts of the country for the past 2 years. However, it is pertinent to note that on all these exercises, its deemed members, namely the chairperson of the National Commission of Scheduled Caste and National Commission of Scheduled Tribes, have not only been conspicuously absent, but perhaps never invited also. The above therefore calls for a very urgent introspection. सोचिए आप लोग कि अगर ये मेंबर्स वहाँ पे बने हैं और वहाँ जाते भी नहीं हैं, उनको बुलाते भी नहीं हैं, तो किस बात के मेंबर्स हैं? मैं अपनी उन बहनों से भी सोचने के लिए कह रही हूँ जो यहाँ बैठी हैं. The full members of the NHRC as well as certain but the deemed members of the NHRC to ensure that this historic opportunity of working collectively for the protection and promotion of human rights and fundamental freedoms is not lost. सब जब तक मिलजुल कर काम नहीं करेंगे तब तक हम अपने अधिकारों का सामना भी नहीं कर पाएंगे और उनको ले भी नहीं पाएंगे. Let us protect what exists and develop it further to ensure better implementation of the 9 out of 10 functions mandated to be carried out by the NHRC in India. I wish to remind that when NHRC was granted its A grade during its most recent accreditation by ICC in May 2011, recently, the subcommittee on the accreditation of the ICC had made 5 recommendations, one of which specifically related to a composition and pluralism. I quote the ACA, the presence of deemed members from the national commissions addressing caste, women's rights, minority, scheduled tribes on the full statutory commission. While this is a welcome initiative, there are concerns they are not adequately involved in discussions on the focus, priorities and core business of the NHRC's non-judicial functions. I do not think that in the past 2.5 years since these recommendations have been made, the situation has changed at all. It is time Parliament's scrutiny over the institutional lapse is improved and further amendments are made to the PHRA 1993 for its effective function. I would like to mention here a little bit on what happens to the recommendations that are made by these statutory bodies. These recommendations go to the Parliament and they lie there for years and years to come without anybody even knowing what has happened, and all that effort that is being made behind that is just collecting dust in somewhere in the Parliament. That has to be a speedy justice, like Maya had said. There should be a speedy action. Unless there is speedy action on all this, there is no use of wasting money on all these things. The government has to remember that Section 3 now needs to be amended, since newer NHRI have been created, namely NCPCR, CIC, National Commission for Safai Karmacharis and Central Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities. This is urgent, and the rules and regulations of the NHRC have to be amended to pave way for the meticulous details for this delicate institutional creation and full and deemed members to blossom and function as state-funded institutional human rights defenders in India. We talk about defenders on village level. How can those village defenders even be a part of anything when such big bodies are not doing anything? I'm very grateful to this jury that they have heard me. I hope some action would take very soon. And I'm grateful for the tribunal to have called me to depose today. This is my first deposition in India. In fact, I've never deposed. Thank you very much.
शुक्रिया मोहिनी गिरी जी. मोहिनी गिरी जी ने बीच में हिंदी में भी बात करी ली है. जैसे कि पहले बताया गया कि जो डीम्ड मेंबर्स हैं, जो बाकी आयोग हैं, NHRC 1993 में जब बना उससे पहले माइनॉरिटी कमीशन था, महिला आयोग, उसके बाद बहुत से कमीशन बने हैं. नेशनल कमीशन फॉर सफाई कर्मचारीज, NCPCR, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ चाइल्ड राइट्स, डिसेबिलिटी के लिए, ये सारे कमीशंस के मेंबर, इन सारे आयोगों के जो प्रमुख हैं, जो चेयर हैं, वो डीम्ड मेंबर्स होते हैं NHRC के. लेकिन उन्होंने जो बताया कि जिस तरह से इनको इग्नोर किया जाता है, एक हॉस्टाइल एटीट्यूड है और सेकंड क्लास मेंबरशिप, ऑर्नामेंटल शब्द उन्होंने यूज़ किया कि जैसे कि सौंदर्य के लिए कोई एक तरह से शो पीस की तरह, वो भी केवल दिल्ली में, लेकिन महत्वपूर्ण मीटिंग्स में इनको इनवाइट नहीं किया जाता. और मोहिनी जी ने ICC और एशिया पैसिफिक फोरम और बाकी जो UN काउंसिल या अंतर्राष्ट्रीय फोरम पे जितनी बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण मीटिंग्स होती हैं, वहाँ डीम्ड मेंबर्स को कोई वैल्यू नहीं दी जाती, उनको नहीं बुलाया जाता है. और उन्होंने अंत में इस बात पर जोर दिया कि जब तक क्योंकि NHRC के मेंबर सीमित हैं और लिमिटेड, इनकी अपनी लिमिटेशंस हैं, जब तक आप सबको साथ लेके नहीं चलते, जब तक आप इन सब सदस्यों को एक सदस्य की तरह नहीं ट्रीट करते और जब तक आप इनको सेकंड क्लास सिटीजन, सेकंड क्लास मेंबरशिप की तरह ट्रीट करना बंद नहीं करते, तब तक आप ज़्यादा प्रभावशाली नहीं हो सकते. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मोहिनी गिरी जी. हमारे अगले वक्ता इसी कड़ी में मिस्टर YSR मूर्ति. मिस्टर मूर्ति ने NHRC के साथ काम किया है और अभी प्रोफेसर हैं जिंदल विश्वविद्यालय में. वो जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को लेकर NHRC बंद तो गई, इनका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्या है, कितनी क्षमता है, किस तरह के केसेस हैंडल करते हैं, और स्टाफिंग और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इन दो महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दों पर बात करेंगे। मिस्टर YSR मूर्ति।
I'm going to offer a slightly different perspective. I have worked in the National Human Rights Commission for over 12 years before moving on to academics. And I speak from the lived experience. Many victims, I have had encounters with many victims. I just want to briefly mention three particular instances which really struck me. First was a poor farmer from Andhra Pradesh, hailing from Nalgonda district. He brought his son who was affected with fluorosis, and his bones were brittle, he could not stand, and he placed this chain on my table, and that was a very moving experience for me. The second was a group of Kashmiri Pandits who had to flee from a valley immediately after the aftermath of serious attacks on their life and property, and they fled to Delhi and they came to the NHRC to seek succor. And I saw what violence has done to the Kashmiri Pandits, and I was again deeply moved by that. And the third was, soon after the Gujarat riots, I had a chance to accompany the fact-finding mission of the National Human Rights Commission and went to the relief camps. Again, I was terribly moved by the pain and anger of the victims, and all these experiences have shaped my perceptions. And today several things have been said about the NHRC, and to be fair to the Commission, there are a number of important achievements also in the last 20 years. For instance, you take TADA. There was a misuse of this draconian legislation against minorities, trade union activists, environmental activists. NHRC was at the forefront. It was instrumental in the repeal of TADA from the statute books. And what about the right to education? NHRC was one of the first ones to flag the need for having a right to education for all children up to the age of 14 years, and repeated it time and again in the annual reports. And today you know what has happened. The right to education legislation is there. A reference was made to Durban World Conference. The Government of India took a stand that caste discrimination and racial discrimination are two different things, and caste discrimination cannot be discussed at the Durban World Conference Against Racism in the year 2001, but the NHRC took an independent stand and it held public consultations across the country, and it had the courage to strike a different note. And the Torture Convention, Indian government was not willing to sign the Torture Convention. It took the efforts of the then chairperson, Justice Venkatachari